hmm You know, there's what's known as tyranny, as a term used throughout history to describe various forms of government by rulers, yeah, who have unrestricted power. Yeah. hmm Ancient Greece, for example, tyranny simply meant absolute rule by one person. Many Greek tyrants were kind, capable rulers. Tyranny can refer to a government by an absolute ruler who gained power through military force or political trickery. Such tyrants are not supported by a majority of the people, must use force to stay in power. Another definition of tyranny is a government, yes, in which a person or group of persons rules in cruel, oppressive, and unjust ways. Yes. Many cases, tyrants use their power primarily for their own benefit. Yes. Absolute rulers who intend to promote the welfare of society, also may be called tyrants. Yeah. hmm Now, if they suppress the freedom of the people, today the word tyranny is frequently used to describe a dictatorship. Yes. Mm. Now, these individuals that are ruling, that are cruel, oppressive, and are unjust in their ways, yeah, that are violating their own court rules, yeah, Supreme Court rules, which requirements of the laws of the state of Washington, yes, the obligation of the full faith and credit of each and every state, yes, the violating of state constitutions, of the immunities and privileges of every citizen, yes. Then there's that United States Constitution, and the requirements of federal laws as it involves custody, yes, parental kidnapping, right, violence against women. Now, when you think about protecting the rights of the respondent in the VAWA, yes, and you're issuing dissolutions of marriage that have restraint provisions, yes, obviously they all have to be issued according to the VAWA. But since you didn't obligate the petitioner to actually serve me any of the documentation, yes, and since the settlement conference hearing, yeah, violated court rules, right, and since you violated court rules when scheduling the non-jury trial, yes, and then you didn't obligate the petitioner to serve me the dissolution of marriage, exactly how many federal laws are being violated because of that dissolution of marriage? Well, we have jurisdiction. Yes. There's kidnapping. There's the international violation of the conventions. Right. The agreements. There's the res judicata of the State Department. Yes. And then there's the thought of you continuing to enforce that. Yes. Because of violating the constraint provisions, the requirements. Yes. Of the Violence Against Women's Act. See, the VAWA, yes, has certain requirements where you have to protect the due process rights of the respondent. Yes. And you, as a court, said, well, we can issue this because of the accusation of mental illness. Yes. Even though my wife's not, yes, a professional person. And it wasn't that we were living together for 10 years and we really didn't have any arguments. No, no, no. It was that you could right now. Now, I just wanted to know. When are you going to remove your fraud from the judicial system of the United States? And when is the State Department going to enforce the requirements for the enforcement of, yes, this nation's court orders? Yeah. When they have knowledge of you violating your own court rules? Yes. The requirements? Right. The constitutions? Yes. And the United States Constitution. When is oh, 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 you mean the belligerent nation? Pooch. See, there's what's known as a belligerent nation. Yeah. hmm Something we really hadn't thought about as the United States. Yes. See, it's probably, look at, during a war in which the United States is a neutral nation, yes, unlawful to send out of the United States any vessel built, armed, or equipped as a vessel of war, or converted from a private vessel to a vessel of war, yeah, with any intent or under agreement or contract, such vessel will be delivered to a belligerent nation. Now, as much as we don't think about the United States as being belligerent, let's say I prove that in court. Yes. Now, there's probably a legal way, yes, of exactly belligerent, B-E-L-L. There's behalf. Yeah. Belonged. Ooh, belong. Oh, a country involved in a war or other armed international conflict. Yes. Belligerent. Belligerency. The status assumed by a country that wages war against another country. Yeah. The rules of international law require that belligerency between countries be preceded by an absolute declaration of war or an ultimatum setting forth the terms in which the issuing power will refrain from war. The fact of being belligerent, the quality, state, or condition of waging war. Yes. It's kind of as if the United States was its own belligerency. I got employees in the state. I got employees in the federal government. Yes. There are employees in cities and counties that decide to make war against the laws of the United States, as if the United States was its own belligerency. Now, when are you going to stop fighting against the laws of the